On an IFR flight to France, air traffic control tell me this.
If possible, can you drop 100 feet because you're setting the alarms off?
Find out what's going on here on this bad weather flight across the English Channel to France. So this is a two-part video. In this first leg, I'll battle the weather and head to Deauville in northern France to clear customs. In the second episode, I'll land at an unattended French airstrip where I'm made to make all my radio calls in French. The Flying Reporter is now sponsored by Sharo, the new marketplace to buy, sell and share your aircraft. The site's just gone live. It's created by pilots for pilots and has clear pricing, which is excellent value. They're also putting in a huge marketing effort to ensure that your listing actually gets seen. Visit sharo.com today.
Golf India Victor Alpha 1 would request a easterly departure and we're ready for departure.
Golf India Victor, Roger, hold Alpha 1 after departure, right turn out by Godstone, not above altitude 1,400 feet.
Hold position after departure, right turn by Godstone, not above altitude 1,400 feet. Golf Bravo Mike India Victor.
Golf India Victor, runway 25 left, session 2808 knots, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 25 left, Golf India Victor. Okay, ready in the back?
Yeah.
Got a little bit of drizzle here.
The purpose of the flight is to take my son to a Centre Parks holiday about 60 miles west of Paris. He's just broken up for the summer, and to be honest, we could both do with a break.
Power set, T's and P's. Airspeed is increasing. Clouds are a little bit worse than they are on the aerodrome Metar here. Got a little shower here. It's clearer to the north, so sort of heading north easterly at the moment, see if we can get out of this. Golf India Victor, Goldstone.
Golf India Victor, basic service, manufacturer airspace.
Okay, Golf India Victor. What I'm going to do here, because this viz is pretty poor, I'm going to go down this valley that the M25 carves through, and at least I've got the motorway to follow around if I get really poor viz. This will also take us outside of controlled airspace so I can get a climb going earlier.
Red Hill, where I'm based, is within Gatwick's Class D controlled airspace. IFR departures are pretty difficult to achieve here because of the lack of procedures and the local terrain. And so I'm having to stay out of the cloud until clear of the control area. But as soon as I can, I call up the area radar unit, get a traffic service and climb through the low cloud.
Harbour radar, Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, request traffic service.
Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, Sunbury, departure message.
Golf Bravo Mike India Victor, PA28 Arrow, Red Hill to Deauville, 8 miles east of Biggin Hill, altitude 2,400 feet, request traffic service IFR.
Golf India Victor, is that again altitude?
2,400 feet, QNH 1019, Golf India Victor.
Golf India Victor, Squawk 1732, QNH 1019.
Squawk 1732, QNH 1019, Golf India Victor.
I would have had to fly pretty low to be under the weather all the way to France, and of course I want as much altitude over the sea for what I hope are obvious reasons.
Golf India Victor, identify traffic service.
Traffic service, Golf India Victor.
I'm flying at an altitude of 2,400 feet to comply with instrument flight rules in the UK. For IFR flight here, I need to be 1,000 feet above any obstacle or terrain within 5 nautical miles. Route and television mast is 1,305 feet. It's coming up on 5 miles behind me now. Because of this, I've legally had to remain above 2,305 feet until now, but that can be tricky around here. Because I don't have the full instrument rating, I've only got a slimmed down British one, I'm not allowed in the Class A airspace that surrounds London. The base of that is at 2,500 feet. So I'm navigating a very slim band of available airspace. I'm flying it pretty accurately, even though I'm not using an autopilot, but that's making the London controllers nervous.
Golf India Victor, showing 2,500 feet, which is outside controlled airspace, but on the very base. There is jet traffic south of you 4 miles, descending to be 500 feet above. If possible, can you drop 100 feet because you're setting the alarms off?
Roger, we're indicating 24 at 1019er, descending now altitude 2,300 feet, Golf India Victor.
India Victor, thank you, just setting the alarms off. I don't want to get a TCAS against the ones ahead of you.
Roger. Now we're at 24 because of route and mast, but we're now, I think, more than 5 miles away from it, so we can legally fly at 2,300.
The alarms that the radar controller was talking about are the NATS Controlled Airspace Infringement Tool. NATS is one of the UK's main air traffic service providers. This footage was filmed when I visited Farnborough Radar, operated by NATS, 7 years ago. The unit has changed a bit since then with some new tech, but I expect the principle's the same as when it was then. It flashes an alert on the controller's display if an aircraft enters controlled airspace without the correct squawk and clearance, and sounds an audible warning. It says, intrusion. Why my flight today was setting off the alarms, I don't know. I was on the correct QNH, my altimeter was reading 2,400 feet as you saw, and I've checked the transponder's display against my pressure altitude, and it is the same. The aircraft goes through an avionics check every year, and these things are usually picked up. I'll mention it to the engineers, of course, but if you work for NATS and can shed any light, do let me know. I wondered perhaps if the NATS alarm triggers 100 feet either side of the bases. As I say, I don't know, so pop a comment in the video if you have any input into this.
You all right in the back there?
Yeah.
Good stuff. You all right in the clouds?
Yeah.
You trust your dad, don't you, really?
Yeah.
You've got no choice but to trust me.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind it. These days he's quite used to it. But it's disorienting, isn't it, for passengers, because they can't see where they are, which way is up and everything. I wasn't expecting it to be quite as bad as this at this point in the day, so it doesn't bode particularly well. And once we've cleared the London terminal manoeuvring area, we'll be able to get a climb a bit higher and get above this. The SKU-T suggests we should get above it for the channel crossing.
Golf India Victor, base above you, just become 5,500 now if you're looking for climb.
Confirm, climbing altitude 5,000 feet.
See if we get above the clouds for our channel crossing in a moment. But I was here a couple of weeks ago, albeit at night and in a much better equipped aircraft. I went flying with Echelon Air, which is a Cirrus flying school based at London Biggin Hill. They were demonstrating to me the capabilities of the Cirrus on a flight from Germany back to England. We used the onboard tech to navigate around thunderstorms at night and make an instrument approach down to minimums on the autopilot. I'm hoping to release a full video from that day soon, but there's a longer preview of the trip on my Supporters Club channel now. Check that out over on Patreon. And if you're looking for bespoke training in Cirrus aircraft that is tailored around your goals, contact Philippe and the team at Echelon Air.
So we've got the dilemma here where we're going to shortly be out of range of Farnborough. We're in IMC.
So 2 issues coming up for my flight. Firstly, I'm reaching the edge of the UK's lower airspace radar service. I don't like being in IMC without a radar service, but I've reached 5,000 feet and I haven't come out on top yet.
Golf India Victor, leaving my service area now, no traffic's in ahead of you on radar. Squawk on security, or suggest London information 124.6. Bye-bye.
Squawk, conspicuity, London information 124.6. Good day, Golf India Victor.
I get a basic service from London Information, and as soon as the base of the Class A above me rises to flight level 075, I climb and punch through the cloud. Deauville was forecast to be in the clear by now, but the latest METAR suggests that it might be hard to get back down again.
Overcast at 23, broken at 15, so it's quite low.
Now, I mentioned earlier that I have the UK's IMC rating, otherwise known as the Restricted Instrument Rating. It's not a full IR, and one of the quirks of it is that I can only use it in the UK. I need to remain VFR once over the French FIR border. I can fly on top, VFR, as I am now, but it looks like there's cloud as far as the eye can see. Based on the information I have, I'm either going to have to find a gap to drop through before the border or turn back.
When I checked the satellite picture earlier, it was all clear, but
Yankee, what's your estimate for Southend?
it's obviously clagged in again. Let's just have a look at some of these METARs and see if we can find anywhere that's overcast at 4.9 over there.
And I'll speak to you shortly.
I fear we're going to have to come down low and attack Deauville at low level, unfortunately. Caen is view at 3,000, scattered at 3.9, which is a bit better, so we could go off to the right a little. Looks like it clears up. I've got some brakes. Some brakes coming. Right, we've got a break in the cloud here. So we're going to take that. You see we've got a gap here, look. Yeah.
So by dropping through some broken and scattered cloud perfectly legally on the UK side of the border, we could continue safely onto Deauville. Actually, they hadn't been updating their METAR or ATC, it seems, because it quickly became cav OK just a mile or so after my descent, and it continued being that way all the way to landing, even though the latest ATC continued to report broken cloud at 1,500 feet. A little bit annoying, but there you go.
Golf India Victor. Runway 30 clear to land, wind 280 degrees, 14 knots, maximum 20 knots.
Clear to land runway 30, Golf India Victor.
Deauville's not an awful stop for customs. The only downside really is that you have to give 24 hours notice during the week, 48 hours for weekend and bank holiday arrivals from the UK. We picked Deauville over the more obvious Le Touquet, which has got considerably more relaxed notice periods because the weather was worse at Le Touquet on this day. Thankfully, we saw that in the forecast a day or two before we set off, and so we were able to get our notice into Deauville in good time.
I didn't even see the vending machine.
Bertie has just said, do we need anything else for our journey? And look, you can see why he's asking this. That's why, isn't it? You saw it.
I didn't see it.
Oh, is there anything I might have for the journey? Something essential to keep me going?
Screw off.
So we had a very cheerful customs man and a very cheerful lady in the admin who took our fee of €25, which is very respectable. So we're just going back to the aeroplane now to jump back in for our 20-minute flight down to L'Aigle Saint-Michel. Yes. Better get my French up to speed for the next leg because I'm going to need to speak French. So I might just need to do a little bit of practice before I go. It's a bit windy actually. So hit the subscribe button and visit my website to sign up for free episode notification newsletter emails. That visit to the French only airfield is coming up next week. Until then, fly safely, my friends.